Welcome to Market Savvy Conversations. My name is Megan Walker, and today our very special guest is Georgie Davidson, who is an experienced physiotherapist and who's undertaken further studies in the field of mindfulness. Hi, Georgie. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you, Megan. Thank you so much for inviting me to be here.
Oh, I'm really looking forward to our mindful conversation. And I know when I try and practice mindfulness in conversations, it can go anywhere. And I suppose that's a good thing, isn't it? That we are so in the moment that we're going to be taken who knows where. But what I wanted to do was introduce Georgie to all of you. And so talk about her background in the traditional field of being an allied health professional and then moving into more of the digital course space. So Georgie, do you want to start us off by tell us about your background? Where did you study? Where are you based? What have you been doing?
Okay,
Over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Megan. Hello, everyone. I've been a physio for many years, and early on in my career, I realised that working with people from a physical perspective, it was really quite narrow, and I had a lot of questions around why does this person respond to this treatment and another person won't, and realised that there was so much more for me to learn around how someone was responding to their issue, whether it be pain or whatever. So I went down a really interesting path, still working as a physio over 3 decades, exploring different ways to work with people. And that led me to train as a yoga teacher, because yoga was my passion as a young person. So I trained as a yoga teacher, and then discovered the work of John Kabat-Zinn teaching the mindfulness program and the 8-week MBSR course. So I trained to teach that. So basically since then, I've been incorporating mindfulness and yoga into my work with clients and been teaching group programs. So I teach the MBSR course. I teach a professional program for health professionals working with people with pain. I teach some shorter wellbeing programs. So it's been really interesting doing a mixture of those different things over the years. And I think because of that, I've developed this kind of niche, I think, where being fortunate to have been able to get in on the early side of the sort of the mindfulness hype, because I've been teaching it now since 2010, to be able to see a pathway of how we can incorporate it into clinical care, and particularly for physical-based therapists, so exercise phys and physios, because we don't really have a model of what that looks like.
Oh, how interesting. That's amazing. And so you and I have come to meet each other through, being involved in online courses. Tell me about that transition. So you've been delivering programs, you've been working in clinic. How did the digital side come about for you?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And for me, I think it was that it also tied in with the marketing side of it. Because as a health professional, I always sort of believe that if you do a really good job, people will find you. And I've realised that that's kind of not really the way that it is, that we live in the world now that there's so many competing bits of information that I had to sort of get on board with being able to promote and advertise. And I was really scared of APRA. Yes. Of saying the wrong thing. So I had all this, and I have all this feedback that's just sitting on bits of paper and spreadsheets and not actually sharing that. So that's how I initially met you, Megan.
Yes. Okay.
I posted on something about, because I was seeing people were putting things on social media. I was like, are you allowed to do that? So someone then put me in touch with you, Megan, around the APRA guideline course that you were doing. So that's how I kind of got hooked in. Because I wanted to be able to promote my courses more fully. And also I wanted to be able to deliver it to a bigger audience, because I was getting inquiries from people from interstate and sort of from the UK, and I thought, how can I do this when what I was doing was the health professional training, which is what I'm focusing on, was a 2-day course. Right. And actually, I can see that I'd like to be able to offer this to a broader audience, but also I'd like to be able to roll it out in a way that people can build skills over time, rather than just 2 days and then they go. So how do we build in those skills over time? So that was kind of how I then started to look at, actually, maybe I need to be doing more online.
Yes.
and learning how to promote that in an APRA safe way.
Wonderful. And did COVID play a role in you moving into this space a little faster than you'd thought, or tell me about the impact there?
My IT fear had to be worked through because, I wanted to run my mindfulness course, my MBSR 8-week course. I could see there was a need for that. So I decided to run that online. So I started to build the skills around how to work with IT stuff and Zoom. I then also started to learn more about the social media. But the more I learned about the social media, I realised I didn't quite know what I was doing. so I needed some kind of advice around that. So, but certainly COVID took me out of my comfort zone, but helped me to build more skills in the IT kind of arena. Definitely.
Fantastic. I always think of IT like, it's almost like baking a cake. My husband had a big birthday on the weekend, and I made this really extravagant cake. And I'm not normally an icing person. I'm a very industrious. We get the cake done. There was the cake. This thing was like layers of different icings, and I'm like, looked at the recipe, and it's this. It's so many step process. And I thought that's like IT in a strange, bizarre parallel, that we just look at it and we see this list, and it's like, okay, the overwhelm is so real when we're faced with, will it break? Are we going to make it worse? Is it going to cost us more money to fix this? Once I get into that step, am I creating more time? Like we, just get so stuck looking at this long recipe, and it's like, okay, well, what do we know? Get all the ingredients out. What's the first step? And I think, wow, there's so much help around with help desks and Googling, and okay, so we just do the first step. Now what's the second one? But we have to push ourselves through that, don't we? Because it's so overwhelming, that fear of, what was it for you? Is it getting it wrong? Is it breaking something? What sort of is your resistance around the technology?
I think it's more about being seen.
Oh, oh, yes. Okay, I'm putting my hand up.
Yeah.
What will people say?
Yeah. I think it's more around that aspect of it, and what people are going to, and I kind of move through that now, but because it's about offering something that people really need, and I've got that in my mindset that I'm doing, I'm providing assistance and help and guidance. But there is that, how do I put this on Facebook so it is APRA friendly, and it connects to people and it's meaningful for them, and that, there is that, and I'm this okay person in being able to do that. I've got the skills. I mean, for me, getting that sense was, I also went and worked in my area is working with people with pain, and the confidence is in that, but it's also in your skills that you've developed over a lifetime too. So it's about putting yourself out there and those skills. And for me, I found that I kept going back to, I need more skills. I'll go and work in a pain service for 3 years, which is what I did, to make sure I've got those skills. So you go round and round, and then you get to a point with your skill set, but also with your social media and your marketing, that's like, actually,
enough.
Maybe I do not enough.
Yeah.
I'm at that point that, you soon you won't be here anymore. And you get to that point and you go, if I'm going to do it, I've got to do it now. And I have to overcome that IT fear and just do it.
Yeah, it's so true. It's so true. I thought, I'm getting more coaching work. I really should go and do a psychology degree. It's like, well, hang on a minute. I'm a marketer. I don't have the skill set for that. How about just a lighter touch coaching program and then refer people as needed? It's that when is enough? And I love how you've made your purpose greater than your fear. And it is so purpose driven. You've gone from the inside out. And whereas if we look at the fear of what people might say or could go wrong, we get stuck in that focus on me. And the focus is bigger than me. And so in order to get that breadth of people you can help, I'm going to work through that vulnerability and that exposure and the what ifs and go, I'm going to do it anyway. So well done. That's a massive step that sometimes
I have a little mindfulness strategy that, because that's my topic, So I have a little process that I do, and what I say to myself and how I connect in. And it is about, I mean, and this is actually relevant to the work I do with health professionals and the work I do with pain too,
Yeah.
in that it is about kind of being present with what's here now rather than going into the future and kind of going, it's like, okay, let's be here, present here now in the body. We're just noticing that and connecting to the ground. And then when the little doubt goes, it's like, okay, I'm here now and it's not about me. And I find that little process for me is really helpful.
So helpful. So helpful. All the what ifs can go away. I can only control this breath.
Exactly. Yeah. And, you know, coming back again to working with people, you know, with working with pain, Megan, and I think what you said about baking the cake, you know, baking the cake and the steps and the layers, I think that's very much the same as my process with my program also, is that it is about the layers, you know, and it is about skill building for ourselves as health professionals to be able to look after ourselves, but to be able to build skills to be able to help our clients so that they can then build the skills. So it's not a fixed approach. It's about building those skills and those awarenesses that help us to actually intervene in a way that can help take someone from being really stuck in pain to actually feeling so much more empowered to be able to live their life.
Yeah, that's a really nice change to the medical model, isn't it? It's not.
It is.
Problem solution.
It's skill
forward
building.
Moving. Yeah.
And it's resource building, those layers. And for me, I see that the skills that I'm building working with you are supplementary to being able to do that, because that's not my skill set. I know where I know you said, you know, I know my skill set and I know where I need support and help to be able to bring what I feel could actually be quite transformational for health professionals. But I actually really think it can be really transformational for physios.
Definitely.
And, you know, there's this piece in me that feels that we're missing a piece, we're missing a gap in our education. And
definitely.
I can kind of see what that is through my own experience and working with health professionals over years. And it's not that hard to fill that gap, but we've got to recognise that it's there.
Yeah. And you know, this is a big, I don't want to head down this big conversation because I want to bring you back to what you've learned and where you're going next. But I can hear the impact, like as a layperson, I'm hearing the impact on chronic pain, on someone presenting with physical symptoms in physio. But are you saying what's being done to address the mental component of that pain?
I think we recognise as physios now that we need to be providing a psychologically informed biopsychosocial approach. We recognise we need to do that, and there is research and evidence that suggests we need to do that. But how do we do that? And what's happening in the physio profession is that we're going, okay, well, these are my physio skills. I better go and learn some CBT. I better go and learn some ACT. But those programs are put together for psychologists working in clinical psych positions. And we're kind of going, well, maybe we need to be doing this as well. But there is a way we can work with people with the body, with noticing, because pain is in the body, stress is in the body, fear is in the body, that I think matches our skill set in a much better way and fits within our scope in a better way.
Brilliant.
It's applicable to all physios, wherever they are, whoever they're working with. And I think we haven't recognised that. We're trying to be physios and psychologists, whereas I think there is a way of being a physio but addressing the whole picture through the body.
Yes.
The first foundation of mindfulness is the body. So,
and take that pressure off. We're not asking you to be also a psychologist in addition to just adopt a different approach. How fantastic.
So
tell me your vision. Oh, so many things. Oh, okay. I want to know what you've learned on this journey of going digital and where it's going.
Okay. Well, going digital, what have I learned? I've learned part of what we did with going digital was first of all testing and talking to people, which I think was really valuable. And for me, I've learned a couple of things from that. I learned that people that did the course as far as 8 years ago with me still say how helpful that was in transforming their practice. So for me, it was very confirming, validating. But I also learned that people value a lot the face-to-face. And that's the experience they get through interacting with the practices that I share is really powerful. So I realised that for me, going digital is also about incorporating coaching sessions one-to-one.
Great.
And maybe further down the line, getting people to come live to a kind of a masterclass face-to-face session as well. So I've learnt that bit. I've learnt about, how to try and take a face-to-face course and divvy it up into pieces to be able to provide it online. I'd already been learning more about how to use the technology, and I'm still on that journey. Like, how do I load it all in? And I'm still kind of learning about all that part of it. And the group side of it's important too, I think, for me. So then that comes back to the coaching. So,
fantastic. And where to from here? What is the name of your program? Where is it at in its development?
Well, the course, I call the course Body Map because it is about finding the way of the map inside the body to help with pain. And the MAP is mindfulness and pain.
Right.
And mindfulness also has different words around mindfulness, movement, metta, which is kindness, and mindset. A also has, and I won't go on to that, but they all A and P also have different.
Very considered.
So I've got the name, and the current name of the program that I'm delivering for health professionals is Clinical Mindfulness and Pain Management for Health Professionals. So fairly straightforward. So
that's good. What it is.
So I've got the name. I've got the content. I've upgraded because my initial course when I first put it together, which actually was with a work cover grant, incidentally, was back in 2014. So I've updated it because there have been changes in pain science since then. So I've updated that. I've got all the program, all the thing mapped up, and the sessions and the coaching sessions all planned. I now need to go on and do the videoing of the sessions. I've also been working on my email list because that was actually something else I learned. I've learned more about how to build an email list.
Fabulous.
I've been doing some free monthly sessions, which I offer to health professionals, in particular physios. So that's been helping that. So I've got a building community. I've got a building mail list. But so I've got to finish
That's
the
amazing, Georgia. Look how far you've come, though. Look at what you've done.
I have come a long way.
Huge.
I have come a long
That's
way,
huge.
and it is a lot of work, but I think I feel it's really valuable, and it's taking me in the direction I want to go. Because my initial vision when I started this originally was that, and this is a very big vision, and I feel
want to hear it.
Nervous even putting this out here, out here and there, is that, you know how we have Pilates as a program and people go to Pilates classes?
Sure.
Okay. I envision that in time people can go to body map classes.
Oh.
So that it's programs that are offered in physio clinics, in different settings, that with trained health professionals to teach movement, which is like a mindful movement practice that's specifically geared to people with pain. So it's got education woven into movement. Brilliant. So that's my 5-year plan.
That's awesome. I love it.
But it's very big. It's a very big, ambitious thing. So, but it's one step at a time, one layer of the cake.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Yes,
that's the icing.
And there is you must think of the trajectory that you're on. Like, is it? And time is such a great helper of success, because if you're doing something towards it every single day, someone said to me the other day, sometimes it's just a matter of hanging on and you'll get there, as much as
Yeah.
forward moving all of the time. It's going to get there. The journey is big,
Yeah.
but how else would, gosh, Joseph Pilates or the body pump people, or anyone who's, no, body pump's not so much the relevance, but anyone who's created a successful mainstream program, it all started with a concept, an idea, and small groups, and then from there and there and there.
Yeah.
Great trajectory. That's so exciting.
Very
Wow.
ambitious.
I love it. I love it.
But it's not, it's to fill a need though. And I think that we have a huge problem with chronic pain.
Yeah.
And, and what we're doing isn't really working on a bigger scale. So we need, we know multi-D, going to a multi-D clinic is helpful, but that's not accessible. That's not practical. So if we can have group programs that can really be economically viable as well, I think that, there's a need.
So true. Absolutely. Yeah, I think definitely what you've shared would have resonated with so many people listening, of going, oh yeah, we are still siloed, aren't we?
Yeah.
That's the psychology, they handle that body work, we handle that exercise phys, we handle that, but where's that combination? And so what would you say to other practitioners who are thinking, I want to carve out a niche for myself, but I'm terrified of doing it?
Yeah. I think I'll speak more to the physio world because that's the world that I know.
Sure.
And it's kind of a little hard for me, I suppose, because I still haven't I do I'm invited to do quite a lot of presentations and things. So I am kind of in that niche. But I suppose it's about really finding, if you feel that you have something that's a little bit different, that really offers something to your clients, then I think that's there to be shared. And I feel that it's identifying what you have and reaching out to community, I think, is helpful so that you don't feel that you're alone in kind of working in that. So getting sort of some good people around you, and certainly like yourself, if you want to do it online, Megan, people like yourself to help support the IT aspect of it.
Yeah.
And you've got to do the work behind it too. You've got to look at the research. You've got to work out where it fits in relation to that. But our profession is built on people that have gone outside the square. Physio is built on that. If we look at the Jeff Maitlands of the world, and things, and some people might say that's had its time, but really, it's built our skill set as a profession. And I think that, sitting on the edge and being prepared to stand your ground is important. And I do think things like mindfulness is really helpful in us addressing the doubts and the thinking and the fear that we might have, and going, do it anyway.
I love it. And the brilliance of learning mindfulness to teach clients is the personal empowerment and discovery of self, isn't it? So, people who come and work with you in your sphere, if they're saying, I'm coming to learn so I can help my clients, wow, that life-changing experience for yourself.
You can't separate it. So, people that come to my courses right from the beginning, we talk about, this is not about just what you do. It's not a doing thing. Well, yes, it is a doing thing as well, but it really has to come from in here. It's like you can't teach someone to swim if you don't know how to swim yourself.
Oh, so true.
And mindfulness is not some weird new age. Mindfulness is paying attention and being present to noticing what's happening in your body and in your mind. So, it's a human trait, but, in our busy world, we can tend to lose touch with that.
Get past
so
it.
Yeah, so it is. It's all, and that's why I think this is where I think people that have come to the trainings years ago feel that it's been helpful, because that was a shift in recognizing that other part of themselves. That you don't go back.
No,
it stays with you.
Yeah, that's right.
And I think that's what I've said. It stayed with them, and it's brought a different element into their work over years. And in some cases changed the trajectory of their choices as to how they work with people and what they've established.
Yeah, I did a mindfulness course and I'd love to do more. I'm going to be in touch with you 10 years ago, and it changed my life. And I think about it every day. I do the meditations from that every day from 10 years ago. It's
Yeah.
life changing how everyone's out to get me, la, 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 la. Hang on a minute. It's that changes your whole mindset of how you are in your place in the world. And we're getting down a deep rabbit hole.
What's happened lately, over the last 5 years or so, because there's a lot of mindfulness in the media, it's got people it's got diluted. People think it's the relaxation technique, and you and I, Megan, know that that's not what it is.
Way of life.
And I think, there's a bit of mindfulness. There's a bit of disregarding it and going, nah, that's just some light fluffy kind of thing, perhaps, because we don't, it's that lack of recognition of the depth of the practice as a human trait and skill, but when you've explored it, you get it. If you haven't explored it, like people watching this might go, bloody mindfulness again. What is this?
It's not a YouTube video.
You try. You kind of once you've kind of explored it, you kind of really understand. You then can understand and see how it's important and why and what role it can play in your life as a clinician, or just as a family member, as a person, as a community member.
Yeah. And Georgie, you do such great work. You do work that matters so much. How can people get in touch with you if they want to find out more, they want to start joining your email list? Did you hear? Georgie's growing her email list, so come and join it.
That's a great question. Well, I have a webpage, which is georgie@georgiedavidson.com. I also have a Facebook page. I have two Facebook pages, actually. One is Mindful Movement Physiotherapy, which is more geared at the work I do with working with clients with pain. And then I have one that's Body Map, and the Body Map Facebook page. And at the moment, they are both public, so you can access them publicly. And the Body Map one is more geared at health professionals. And I put posts in there fairly regularly around different tips and ways of working with people with pain and opportunities and things.
What a star student you've been. Thank you so much. This is I mean, my vision is I want the go-to people to claim their space. I want pelvic pain. I want the, physio mindfulness, body mindfulness. I want the, cancer coping person, whoever they are in whichever space that their calling is. I want them to claim that space. And it would be the greatest sense of pride for me to have the directory one day that any friend or family member says, who do I go to for my ACL rehab? But, I've also got one leg that's shorter than I don't know, whatever it is, Georgie, I'm rambling. But, like, who is that go-to person? And that person has, maybe it's a physical clinic, but maybe it's telehealth. And yes, they've got their courses. And yes, they've got their community. And people with that challenge can go there and know they're in the right place. Like, that excites me no end. And you're building that. So keep us posted. Can't wait to see this trajectory unfold.
Thank you. Thank you, Megan.
Thanks so much, Georgie. And if for anyone who wants more information about creating an online course, have a look at my website. We've got the Private Practice Online Course Academy that Georgie's been a wonderful student and part of. And Georgie, can't wait to see what's next. And thanks so much for chatting with me.
Yeah, thank you so much, Megan. And thank you, everyone, for listening.
Bye now.
Okay, bye-bye.